Hello and welcome back to Lotus Reverie First Nexus. Alright, what are we gonna do this day? I kinda wanna train a bit more. Maybe also go to the library? Sure, why not? The worry I have is that we're not actually improving the magic we have, but just gaining the ability to get new magic, which I don't really want. I want, a better magic that I currently already have. I want to be able to heal more, I want to enhance better, potentially. Because from what I've read here, pushes the enemy with great strength, the enemies do more damage than usual. Yeah, these are all kind of like spells that I don't really care about. I'll put that in there for now. Today's a training day. Sure. Alright, you've cleaned your room twice and gone to snack on something another 4 times. Anything else you can do to keep procrastinating? Oh, now you're actually going to study. Amazing. Wait, just give me 1 second here. Alright, this should be better. You're learning a lot, but you will need more time before you notice an improvement. Still, you feel you have a better grasp of your basic spells after so much practice. Which one do you want to improve? Yes, that's what I needed. Fortify, because the other 2 suck. You unlock the Fortify spell. Okay, what does that do? No, that's not where I can look that up. Can I look that up in the diary? Yes. Superior version of enhancement. Higher attack and defense, but at a greater cost. That's fine. And then we go off to the training ground, where we'll do these again. Yes. You sometimes feel dizzy while training. It is not fatigue, but confusion. It's just a strange feeling you get sometimes. Okay. Alright, you know what? Let's do it again. Okay. Maybe that'll improve it. Every time you come to train after Rue, the equipment's always wrecked. It seems uncharacteristic given how lazy he is, but his training must be brutal. A pity it's impossible to catch him training. I'll need even more time. Jesus. Okay. Good night, Sink. Advantages of living in a castle number 2. It's a freaking castle. How can you not like living in one? In any case, what should we talk about? Talk about Helio. Sink. Fistel thinks it over for a second, measuring his words carefully. I shouldn't say anything. It's your own decision in the end, but as you already know, this is serious. It may be my only chance to know who I am. Yeah, I know you wanted to say that, but if you're telling me, you must have a purpose in mind. I told you because I thought it was important. And you're willing to risk me escalating this into full-on drama? I could go right now and kick Helio out to get him killed, and the others would approve. You would lose your chance to know who you are. But you won't do it. You can't be absolutely certain of that, just like how you can't be absolutely certain of Helio's intentions. That's why you told me, right? Now I'm your life insurance. I'll make sure nothing else happens. It's not the first time we've had a tense situation like this in the castle. Keep investigating and talking with him to learn more, but I'll keep my eyes peeled. I won't allow anything to happen, whether it's to you or to our lives in this castle. Thank you. No, I should be the one saying that. Thanks for trusting me. What do we ask about? The castle's alliance, sure. What do I think about the other castle members? They're all great. What do you want me to say? You told me you would answer any question, right? I want an honest answer. Oh, so you're looking for loopholes in the system. You're getting bolder every day. It doesn't need to be too detailed or anything, just a second opinion, that's all. I'm telling the truth, I do think they are great. They all keep their secrets and stories, but that makes sense after they've all survived for so long. A second opinion wouldn't help you determine who's good or bad, because such a concept is ridiculous to begin with. Do you think morality is relative? Not even close. There are grey areas, but morals do follow common sense. We're all humans at our core. Everyone is different, yes, but they're still predictable. This is because the majority follow their own interests first, many of which are unavoidable by our own nature. And most people will be willing to relinquish some of their interests in exchange for their security. That's how society and life in this castle works. Does that have anything to do with what you said before about how people tend to exaggerate when they imagine life in a survival game such as ours? You're onto something. Nobody is going to risk much if they can get closer to their goals by making just a few concessions. Everyone understands power, even if no one can truly define it. Everyone respects those barriers because survival takes priority. And the odd exception to the rule does not tend to end well. Is that a threat? It is a second opinion. Okay. Alright, the tension didn't rise much. Secondary events? Maybe. What could we do? What do we even have for the main events left? Okay. You know what, actually? Rue. Let's have a talk. A group just returned from an expedition and it seems there's some commotion taking place, so you decide to go check it out. Apparently there's an argument going on, you don't know exactly why, so you move closer to Violet and ask her. Let me guess, it's over some complete nonsense, right? What do you mean? All this racket. Do you think it could be anything else? You let out a long sigh while Violet cackles. The fact you're thinking like this is a good sign. Quick summary, we were on an expedition and Rue went off on his own for a second before coming back. He had a chocolate bar hidden in the reserve storehouse and it just disappeared. Oh, what a pity. Nope, still not interested. Sorry, I tried. You remember perfectly the delicious chocolate bar you found in that old arsenal. A pity you can't say anything since you broke the regulations in the process. He's always stuffing some kind of sweets into his mouth practically every second of the day, so he probably forgot he ate it himself, like always. I'll make sure he gets over it, don't worry. Good grief, what would he ever do without me? Violet is smiling from ear to ear despite her complaints, so you prefer to just leave it to her and forget about it. However, it doesn't seem like Rue will allow you to ignore the matter for too long. Finally found you, Sink. I have something to ask you. Imagine my surprise, this is the first time you actually look like a real detective. Funny how it's because of a chocolate bar. My chocolate bar? I left it there. Your fault then. It was a much safer storage place since everyone is here in the castle, not outside. This means the suspect list in this case is quite short. I've been asking around to learn what everyone's been up to, and I'm having a hard time figuring out where you were during a certain period of time. Rue's gaze is deep and still, like a predator waiting for a moment of weakness. You remain calm. Look, I can tell when someone lies. That's my specialty. If you're so good at sniffing out lies, why do you have to ask them? Detective work isn't about finding the truth. I have to prove it, or better said, I have to convince the appropriate authority of it. Which translates into convince the majority to accept what I consider to be the truth. So tell me, did you take that missing chocolate bar in the storehouse west of the castle? Yeah. Rue cocks his head, his expression the closest to surprise you have seen on him ever. Alright, that was too easy. Of course, the explanation is pretty simple. I could have picked it up before coming to the castle the very day I woke up in the hospital. Happy? It's hard to know what Rue is thinking behind that poker face of his, but it seems you've left him wordless. Come on, Rue, you wouldn't have asked me anything if you knew I did it. All you need is proof of me breaking the regulations. My actual answer doesn't mean anything. If you're asking me, that's because you want a confession, to make me break down and obtain the proof from my own lips. But as far as I know, punishment cannot be applied retroactively. At that time, I didn't know if you guys even existed. Sorry for popping your bubble. If you left that chocolate bar there after my arrival to the castle, then you would have just accused me directly, with or without confession, guilty or innocent. It's not like my opinion or the truth matters. I have no means to defend myself if you manage to convince enough people. Rue looks to have relaxed, and he raises his hands in a gesture of apparent surrender. Color me surprised, Sink. You've grown a lot since we first met. Motives are always more relevant than words or deeds, that's true. Examining them makes it easy to find what others truly desire, and how they may behave towards that purpose. It's a pity though, sometimes that's not enough. What if I told you there's a video? Control room? Yeah, sure we can go. Why though? Rose walks you over to the control room for all the cameras. Rue takes charge of giving terrible explanations. A video of the storehouse? It's true that we haven't explained anything about it to Sink yet. It's one of the areas outside the castle that we've equipped with cameras because of its importance. That was Fizzle's idea, to have a storehouse with resources outside the castle in case we were ever forced to leave the castle. That way we wouldn't lose everything in a worst case scenario. You are unable to follow the conversation. Right now there's only one incessant question pounding through your mind. Are you on those recordings? What about manipulation? Would it be possible for someone to hack into the cameras or otherwise tamper with them? Who do you think I am? Just a formality, don't get mad. Short answer is no. And a long one? No. Now add those boring details back in. It's impossible because I'm so great and fantastic that I thought it all out beforehand. It is a closed system, so access from outside is impossible. All the equipment is set up to give a warning for any error. To be more precise, if it stops communicating at any moment, the alarm will immediately go off. Someone touches it? Warning. Cut off of power? Warning. It's an ultra-delicate and overprotected baby that cries at anything. We haven't even had issues with maintenance because I'm a great mother. Oh my, I'm such a great catch. I can't believe it myself. But, just as an example, you created the system, so you could modify or change it, right? Sure, but altering the system would require entering the control room. That's why we have 3 different keys among 3 different people. Nobody can get in there without at least 2 other people finding out, so the system's security is guaranteed. But I thought you already knew all of this. In fact, you possess one of the keys yourself. Are you so lazy that you're using me to give Sync these explanations? Wouldn't be the first time, knowing Rue. Fizzle is waiting in front of the control room, a key spinning on his finger. You called me for some chocolate? Are you serious? The other 2 keys are in your possession and mine respectively, Fizzle. You were the one who created the regulation that nobody can have more than 1 key with them at the same time, so don't complain. What a mess for a sweet Rue. Hey, to each their own, Vice. In any case, I can set it up so we can play the video from the hall. That control room is too small for all of us to squeeze in there, so if you all can wait a minute. Rose uses the 3 keys to open the control room's sturdy door. It seems improbable, or rather impossible, to access this place without anyone else noticing. But since the process is so annoying, it seems like the recordings aren't checked very often. It's not like you're going to find anything, so I'm leaving. I have better things to do. And your key, boss? There's 3 of you, right? Doesn't matter which 3 people have them. After Rose is done, she gives you one of the keys. All of you then make your way to the hall. The Case of the Missing Chocolate Bar, Episode 1. Stop the nonsense and turn this thing on already. So mean, and after all my precious help, even you should be able to handle it by now, Rue. The relaxed atmosphere of their casual banter is disconcerting to you. You take a few steps back, your shoulders tensing up as you try to get as far away from these lunatics as you can while still keeping your attention on the monitor. Start with an old video, one from a month ago or so. We'll fast forward from there. Fine, geez, you could at least try to sound a little kinder. Rue's serious and cautious profile is lit up by the monitor's glow. He's entirely focused on Rose's movements, never bothering to show any gratitude. You wonder if he's trying to torture you by making you watch the entirety of this long video instead of jumping directly to the date he was suspicious about and getting it over with. His face remains impregnable, however, just like always. Alright, got it. Do you want me to whistle a thrilling melody in E minor? No. What a bore. You immediately recognize the warehouse. The table, the 2 chocolate bars, exactly as you saw it, no doubt about it. The image on the screen digs deep into your soul. You watch in trepidation as the numbers on the digital clock in the corner of the screen swiftly tick upwards. You blink, the seconds appearing to slow down. The numbers twist, change. Your brain can't stop thinking about the moment when you finally appear, the moment everything is over. You close your eyes and then they find out. Oh. You focus back in to see a silhouette appear on screen. That must be you, covered in your robe and hood as always. The moment you entered the room of the storehouse, not even considering the possibility there could be a camera watching your every move. Then you check the numbers, the ones still twisting and turning in your mind, difficult to decipher. And the date of this recording, that date was long before you ever made it to the castle. Oh shoot, who's that? For a second I thought that was Sync in her robe, all covered up, etc. Don't you recognize him? Both you and Rose shake your head, unable to answer Rue's question. The traitor? Tip, he's already dead. Your attention returns to the screen, capturing the moment the silhouette turns around to show its face. The face of an old man. Of course, I should have guessed. We knew he had the tendency to play hooky given the chance. The traitor. You can see the man on the screen opening one of the wrappers and taking a bite of pure blissful joy. You take a deep breath and close your eyes, silently rejoicing over the current situation until Rose mentions something interesting. You took the liquor-filled one. What a jackass. I hate it when you're craving that chocolate flavor and bam! Sorry, everything now tastes like whiskey. You're going too far. Whoever came up with the idea of whiskey chocolate in the first place is the one who took it too far. Mixing the liquor ones in with all the others is a bad joke. Hashtag strike anti-liquor for a world without lies. You're the expert, Rue. Don't let me down. I love all sweets equally. Disregarding Rose's booing and complaints, your eyes remain fixed on the screen. Without a doubt, the old man took the liquor chocolate and left the other one behind. This seems to absolve you of suspicion, but we might as well continue fast-forwarding, Rose, since we already have this on. Rue shuffles closer to you. You could say he somehow looks cheerful. It was me, you said. I guess that's my fault, since I was asking for a yes or no. And it's not like you lied, since you do suffer from amnesia. There was the possibility you straight up didn't know anything, and that's why I couldn't detect any lies. Or maybe there's something else you want to say? The numbers on screen keep spinning, traveling closer in time to the present. You feel a lump rising in your throat. Then the video ends, with no more changes beyond what you've already seen. With that crusty hazelnut chocolate bar standing on the table, untouched in spite of the delicious memory of its flavor still reverberating through your mind. What in the world? You turn to look at the others, unable to keep your confusion off your face. Rose doesn't seem to understand what you're talking about, but Rue raises her eyebrows slightly and answers. The truth, nothing more, nothing less. Thanks for helping with the investigation, Sink. Thank you very much. I'm lost. We're still talking about a chocolate bar, right? After the end of the recording, all that remains on screen is the camera's live feed of the storehouse. The warehouse, the table, the hazelnut chocolate bar, nothing else. And where were you, Rue? You should have been at the end of that video. Me? Why? I would have brought some more chocolate if I went to the storehouse. Then how did you know? I'm a detective, just doing my job. The man stands before you and looks straight into your eyes. Tell me, Sink, did I convince you? Alright. An eternal achievement. What do we have in secondary events? Sure. Let's talk to Columbine. Then, let me get this straight. You peer under the table and pull Columbine out from under there while doing your best to explain yourself in a dull and monotone voice. When I got here, you were stalking me everywhere. I haven't forgotten that time you even snuck into my bed. All to learn more about me and catch me off guard, disguised as simple curiosity. Columbine nervously nods. But then you decided to become my friend after trying to kill me, and that fake curiosity had turned genuine. So now you're just straight up stalking me through and through. Columbine nods again, bobbing her head repeatedly like a little bird. In fact, you've been continuing to escalate to weirder and even more perverted stuff every time, which has been pretty jarring to say the least. I mean, I understand you following me around, but do you really need to drool everywhere when taking pictures? You start to worry she's going to snap her own neck with the sheer quantity of nodding she's doing. You do realize that this is weird, right? As in not remotely normal. Yes. That everyone else sees your behavior as suspicious. Yes. That this behavior does not benefit either of us in any way, especially if you're looking to build a friendship. Yes. Could you stop? No. Well, at least I tried. You understand Columbine better now. Do I? What else do we have? Thistle, sure. Talk about currency. Let's go shopping. Looting. Seeing a middle-aged man so excited about going shopping, stealing, is quite disturbing. Why not? Nothing wrong in taking the chance to buy, burglarize, whatever we can. Following the free people regulation, you all take a trip to a nearby shopping center where you can buy, snatch, all you want. Why do we keep saying buy, swipe, when we're clearly stealing, whatever we want, Thistle? We're not stealing, we actually pay for our goods, look. Fizzle shows you how he tosses a few coins onto the register counter before grabbing a large tabletop games collection. You aren't even paying the correct amount. It's hard to discern the real value of these coins with just a glance, since they shine in different colors from different angles when moved around. Oh yeah, you might not have seen these coins and bills before, since they're exclusive to Maya. To tell you the truth, I first thought they were fake, but by now I've found too many for that to be the case. What kind of material are they made of? Nobody knows. What do you mean? One issue with money over the ages is that many people, such as magicians, have tried to replicate it however possible. Same with precious metals such as gold. Each country has always tried to make its currency as complex as possible to try to avoid forgeries, but Maya took it one step further. These coins are pretty strange and unique indeed, so how did Maya make them, then? During a festival. It usually happened a couple of times a year, though there were exceptions. It took place here in the capital, specifically where the monolith is now in fact. There was a palace with a large square in front, and in that square the queen would create the money using magic. Something like a public performance, an all-out party. Only the queen knew the spell for such a feat. This way the country could guarantee a fixed amount of currency in circulation, with thousands of citizens bearing witness. And you could always check the legitimacy of any money by comparing it to your own aura, since the coin will imitate your aura's colors. Sounds incredible, and no one tried to copy her despite it being such a public event? It was one of the secrets of the royal family. That's what made it so special and valuable. Though, doesn't the color of our aura change all the time? How would you know if the colors match? The aura is always present, just invisible at times. There are some complex methods to see it consistently. In general, the aura adopts a color related to your own mood or feelings, so you can have a general idea of what it might look like based purely on how you're feeling or what you're thinking. The most common visible color is ambition. Since performing magic is equivalent to taking possession of the external world and adapting it to your wishes. Of course, no one only feels one emotion at a time. Overall, the coins reflect the major colors of your aura. There's always a myriad of feelings and colors swirling together in the aura that, when put together in such a small coin, makes it shine like a rainbow. And for a definite check of their authenticity, there are machines and specialists that can compare these differences across any changes in mood. You examine the coin in your hand in detail, amazed by all the complexity held in its tiny body. That's all really interesting, but none of this changes the fact that we're stealing, no matter what nice things you're trying to call it. I'm just trying to liven the place up. Come up with excuses. Zinc. You understand Fizzle better now. In fact, Fizzle looks somewhat different. And, oh, he is coming today. Good night, Zinc. Oh, hello. Sorry, I was lost in thought for a moment when I saw you. I find it funny that you're continuing to wear that robe even at this hour. Please tell me you clean it regularly, right? In any case, what should we talk about? Yeah, sure, we can talk about Rue. I don't get what's the issue here. There isn't any issue, but it's just funny, all of that just to impress on me how Rue is a jerk. We all know that very well already. In any case, this story only confirms how absent-minded you can be. I'm not, well, I don't really know. But I'm happy you told me this. Showing weakness is a sign of trust. It's not weakness. True, at your age this only makes you cuter. And at your age that sounds totally perverted. Ah, you really know how to hit where it hurts. But I'm still amazed at the deftness with which you can manage to change the subject however you want. Do you believe in God? Why that question all of a sudden? You said I could ask anything, right? The truth is I don't have much else to ask, so you decided to make fun of me, wasting my time. Fun, yes, also boredom, but apart from that, I'm just curious. The world has changed so much since the incident. Normal logic has stopped working when it comes to many things we once considered set in stone. Don't you think asking about the existence of God is normal under these circumstances? Fizzle surrenders to your wits, a smile on his face. No, you're right. The darker the future, the more sense it makes to look inwards, searching for faith. And that's precisely my answer. What? I don't believe in God per se, but I believe in divinity. What do you mean? Is there any difference? The idea of God as an entity is no different from that of dragons or demons, a fragment of a simplified reality. The benefit of God, however, is the resulting definite answer to meaning, akin to logos. Now that's another story. I don't get it. Don't be mistaken. I don't know what I'm talking about either. This is faith after all. But look at it this way. Can you truly get to know someone, or better said, can you know yourself at any moment with absolute certainty? Nevertheless, you can understand the characteristics that shape you, the traits that turn the subject into an individual, that separates him or her from everything contrary and chaotic. The traits that turn me human? No, the traits that turn you divine. You narrow your eyes, totally bewildered. I still don't get it. Me neither. Huh? You were teasing me? You started it. I don't know about the divine, but you seem like the total opposite. You've got some nerve. Goodbye. Okay, tension stayed roughly the same, but we're out of things to talk about because I don't want to talk about Calamity. Main events. Well, what do we have? Behind the mountain. Tale of a walker, gathering memories. Explanations of the past. We haven't talked to Helia this episode. I don't want to either, but we should. There's a knock on the door, just like that very first morning. A head sticks out bashfully, but this time you invite him to come in. What happened at the river almost feels like a bad dream. After he put your lives in danger like that, anyone would wonder if he even realizes what he did. You and Helio are alone. Alright, Helio, where should we start? Your arms crossed, you remain stoic, as if you were waiting on an explanation from a kid who just broke a vase. First, I want to apologize. I know what I did was not appropriate, but at that particular moment I thought it was the best course of action. Because I apparently did the same to you before. Exactly, I mean, we already knew each other before you came to the castle. I was lost back then. After the incident I had no reason to continue with my life. You were the one to teach me. As long as one does not wish to die, that is enough reason to keep on going. That I could still become a hero, just like how I'd always dreamed. A nostalgic smile appears on his face. All his bashfulness and agony vanishes when he says the word hero. What's considered heroic changes with time. A hero of yore would be nothing but a murderer now. But what survives is the memories that surrounded them, their deeds for the sake of those they loved. Capable of leaving their mark in the memories of other people. Don't you think that's a more fitting definition? Being able to move the hearts of others to help them improve by becoming a part of them, even if it's just as a footnote written in the margins of some history book. Now more than ever, I think it's important that someone take up this baton, since after the incident and with everyone gone, wouldn't it be a pity if nobody remembers you? Helio, do you think I don't know the answer to that question? Yes, of course. It seems I'm the only one who remembers you. I'm sorry. A promise is a promise. I'll tell you everything. The story of who you were before you came to this castle. Go on then. I can't even recall when exactly the incident started. For me, it was just another day in my room, in front of the screen. All I noticed was slightly less activity in my usual feeds. The connection was still stable, but I wouldn't get any answers. My messages did not make it to anyone, but despite that, I just kept doing the same thing as always. I still tried to communicate with the void. There wasn't much of a difference before and after. That's why it took me so long to realize what was going on. For me, the day I truly woke up was during that first battle between us. But before that, there was a storm, a blast that forced me to leave my monotony and see how everything went down. I would be lying if I said no part of me had wished for this type of change before the incident, especially when something materialized before me that I wasn't ready to meet, just like it did for the few others that still remained in the city. My own Tulpa was born. But I was so stupid. Tulpas are born from the wishes of their host. They represent a part of your subconscious and your knowledge. In my situation, the person who came to me was a kind, calm, talkative, confident, optimistic and warm girl who bore a terrifying resemblance to an acquaintance I liked back then. A version of the ideal woman. Even if I had to hide or fight, as long as it was with her, it couldn't be so bad, right? Little by little, the idiocy of that thought became obvious. What can you even say to a part of your own subconscious? What can you expect from life if all that awaits you is a barren land where you can only barely survive? Besides, no matter how much I told myself she was not human, that she was just another spell, how do you think I felt when I saw I had brought an innocent girl to a world without a future? Corrupting that kindness and honesty to fight and kill other human beings who only wanted to preserve their own lives, all for the sake of my own selfish desires. No, I could never do that. And that's how, unintentionally, I lost track of time. Until you showed up. If you're afraid, that means you still have hope. Does that ring any bells? From being trapped in my own world, my failures and my fantasies, I now had something to fight for. And for the following days, we traveled together, trying to find a way out of this game, once and for all. You were a closed book. Your words were always short and precise, just like they are now, but your intentions were always good. What little I discovered about you was that this was your first time in the city, so I had to be your guide. The combination of your terrible sense of direction and being surrounded by so many tall buildings was too much for you. But it hardly mattered where we went or what we did. The game still continued, and even if we refused to participate, the world still wanted us dead. Maybe the solution was here after all, in the historic center of the city where that large monolith had appeared, the core of this entire catastrophe. Most people had fled from the area due to some rumors floating around, but perhaps that was why it'd be worth taking the time to check it out. So I wanted to step up, to come here to find answers. I asked you to come with me. You refused. There was someone you were running away from, some person you wanted to avoid, but you never gave me a name. At the same time, you were also looking for a woman. But there was little to nothing we could do in a hostile world where our lives were in constant danger. So I thought it would be easier if I just ended this whole game, if I could find a way to return the favor. We ended up parting ways, but not before making a promise. We were both ready to find our own solution to the same problem. And until we met again on the night of the power outage, all I had done was go back to sleep. Helio is still ruminating everything over, making sure he hasn't forgotten or left out anything important. I'm sorry I can't be of any more help. We didn't spend much time together and, Who was I running away from? I thought all the people alive in this side of the city are all in the castle. That's something I've been trying to figure out since I got here myself. If that person isn't already dead, then there's someone else in this castle, who knows you too, for better or for worse. I didn't want to complicate the situation further, and I couldn't just ask about it openly, seeing how no one seems to have acted suspiciously since you came here. Surely that person is not among us anymore? Helio just shrugs. Slightly irritated, you respond. How do I know everything you said is true? I guess I can't prove it, and after everything I've done, you have every right to doubt me. But I want you to know that I'm on your side, no matter what. Wait a moment. There's too many pieces that don't fit here. For example, you said you summoned a tulpa and that she was with you, but your description of her doesn't fit anyone in the castle. Where is she? It's Columbine. Is she hidden? Oh, wait, what? Columbine is my tulpa, and I'm the human who created her. The boy doesn't budge. There's nothing but complete conviction in his face. Columbine. But you said she was talkative, confident, optimistic, your ideal girl. You said it yourself, she was. Too many things have happened since then, that's why I... Helio bites his tongue, hesitating a moment before he carries on. If I had known, I would have tried to think of another kind of person or something. I don't know. She came out of nowhere, from my subconscious. It's not like I planned it. You cross your arms, thinking over the implications of Helio's words. Columbine knew about your brawl with Helio. Besides, there was that day in your own room, her kind behavior and words. And what do you think my real personality is like? The charming but boring girl from a second ago, or the repulsive girl with suicidal tendencies who everyone ignores? When we parted ways, she came with me. I'm still surprised myself about her change of personality after your arrival. You two never hit it off before. Columbine can be difficult to deal with at times, but you encouraged me to not abandon her. It was part of our promise. Although you're still trying to figure out the series of events, Helio's words point you to another question of yours he hasn't answered yet. That's not the first time you've mentioned a promise. What is that about? That's complicated. I can't say it. What? Why not? Because it's not easy for me, don't you get it? Helio looks away, his cheeks flushed red. What I can do, however, is fulfill the promise. You'll understand everything if you see it for yourself. What in the world do you mean? I want you to come to a place with me, for the promise, and to continue where we previously left off. You frown with suspicion, but Helio avoids your eyes, unable to look at you head on. Where? I'll give you the details later. As soon as I'm ready, I'll let you know. You just have to come meet me. In the meantime, you can take care of any other business you may have. That's all. That's all. You let out a long sigh and end the conversation, ready to call it a day. Helio still appears quite agitated. You close your eyes trying to make some sense of the story and your memories. And it isn't until Helio is about to leave that a noise makes you raise your head. Did she say something? His hand on the doorknob, the boy lowers his gaze. It takes a while until he finally shakes his head. No, I said nothing. See you later, Sink. Oh, he said something, absolutely. There are too many unanswered questions. This meeting has done nothing but complicate things further. The promise, those memories. None of them seem to have awakened the slightest feeling within you. Well, it technically assures us that Helio is killable. So the flowers would never wither. But it would also mean that Colburn dies at the same time, wouldn't it? I don't want that to happen. Well, for the rest, since we're 35 minutes already in my recording, we're going to the training ground until the day's over. Or, well, at least until we level up some of our skills, I guess. Rose has offered you all kinds of training tools and equipment she invented herself. All great. The issue? The price. I don't think I can even say what that price was uncensored. Better continue following the traditional system. Your training has borne fruit. You can now equip more battle styles. I still don't really know why I would want to do that. Wait, do we have basic good attack and defense? Yeah. The spear has less attack than a sword, but better defense and a chance to push your enemy away. And the dagger has little attack and defense, but is perfect in combination with something else, like a shield, perhaps. Whatever. We can explore, probably. The far west? Sure. Let's go. Might take another little bit of time, but you know what? We'll do it. You walk up the sloped venue, gazing up at the skies where the monolith reigns supreme. There is nothing you can do beyond watching it carefully, letting your mind wander in nostalgia. Unable to look away, hypnotized by its secrets. And you're not the only one. Perhaps we may just be an insignificant variable in an unavoidable destiny, but that doesn't change my determination. For the myth doesn't need truth to be real. You're... Yes? The girl turns around when she hears your voice. Your heart pounds in your chest. I thought you were a dream. The girl lets out a pleased laugh, and moves closer to hold your hand. What would you do if I was? Seeing the expression on her face, you back away from her, but the girl doesn't seem to be bothered. To dare to dream life is a dream. To awaken when mistakes turn a blissful dream into nightmare reality. The first step to forge the myth. The hero is born from darkness to discover divinity and to bring its fruits to the people. The girl smiles, but you still have no idea what she's talking about. Who are you? Iris. Do you live here? Do you know the others at the castle? What do you know about the incident? What are you doing here? Yes, same as you. And I've come to bring you a story. The girl remains apathetic to anything but her stories. You click your tongue, disheartened. What story? Don't you feel it? Very close to this place, same as the others. What in the world are you talking about? An incomplete story about a dark heart. Death, sex, evil, or extinction. Do not forget, they too form part of the whole that bestows upon us knowledge of matter, entropy, and the glory of rebirth. You follow Iris's finger as she points to one of the narrow alleys that connect with this venue. Whatever you say, but can you tell me who... By the time you turn back to her, she's gone. You go down the alleys she pointed to, but hoping to find some answer. But that answer does not come. You stretch out your arm and point with your finger like she did, but then aim with one of your eyes closed. Bang! You make as if you shot a gun out of your finger, playful though a bit confused. Without a doubt you're missing something here. Good night, Sink. On the way here, I was thinking about lots of things. What we're doing here, our future, and I think I know for sure. One of these days we need to make a giant realistically sized dinosaur. We'll never again have the chance to create a city full of huge toy dinosaurs. In any case, what should we talk about? Can I share? Yeah, we promised Columbine we'd not share that. Looks like you don't have any questions for Fizzle at this moment. Well, we're rising the tension then. You can't sleep. This tension will devour you if you don't act. What event could change this situation? You shouldn't waste any more time. Okay, it's rising. But that'll be it for now. Where are the memories? Here are the memories. I'm going to save, and that'll be the end for this week's episode of Lotus Reverie First Nexus. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.